And it seems The Simpsons just can't wait for next season to deal with Donald Trump. The Simpsons released this video online tonight.
Now, we all know The Simpsons isn't just a funny cartoon. It's been famous for predicting the future. From futuristic tech to a potential female presidency and even World War III, it seems the show might have seen it all coming. But here's the big question. Did The Simpsons also predict some of the wildest things that could happen in 2024? Stick around as we go through the top predictions from The Simpsons for this year. And trust me, some of these will leave you with speechless. Donald Trump's return. Back in 2015, The Simpsons made headlines when an episode seemed to predict that Donald Trump would run for president. At the time, it seemed like a joke because no one expected Trump, a famous businessman and TV personality, to actually run for office. But in 2016, he shocked the world by winning the election, and fans of the show couldn't believe their eyes. They started calling it another accurate prediction by The Simpsons. But the story didn't end there. In a later episode, The Simpsons showed a campaign poster with the words, "Trump 2024, hinting that he might try to run for president again. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. In 2022, Trump officially announced that he would be running for the presidency once more in 2024. It's almost like the show knew what was going to happen years before anyone else did. The prediction gets even more mysterious because this episode aired long before Trump's first term as president. It's like The Simpsons had a glimpse into the future. World War III prediction. In the 1987 episode, The Simpsons made a joke that seems way scarier today. Homer wakes up his family in the middle of the night, yelling that World War III has started, and they need to rush to a bomb shelter. It's supposed to be funny because Homer is just joking and there's no real war. But now, looking at what's happening in the world, this joke feels like it could become real. Let's talk about why fans are worried about this prediction. Right now, there are so many conflicts going on. There's the war between Russia and Ukraine, fighting in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine, and even civil wars in countries like Sudan and Myanmar. It feels like every part of the world has some kind of conflict, and things are getting worse every day. People are scared that all these smaller wars could lead to a bigger global conflict, just like the episode hinted. Experts say that if tensions between powerful countries like the United States, Russia, China, and North Korea keep rising, it might push us closer to a world war. The idea of World War III sounds terrifying and nobody wants it to happen. But with the way things are going, some people can't help but wonder if The Simpsons' prediction was actually a warning. Colonization of Mars. The idea of humans living on Mars sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but The Simpsons talked about it long before it became a real plan. In a 2016 episode titled The Margian Chronicles, the show featured a story where the Simpson family is chosen for a special mission to colonize Mars. They go through tests, and while the project turns out to be fake in the episode, Lisa and Marge eventually end up on Mars in the year 2051. This prediction is super interesting because, in real life, Elon Musk and his company SpaceX are seriously planning to send people to Mars. Musk has said many times that he wants to build a human colony on Mars and make it our second home. He even hoped to start the first mission as early as the 2025, which sounds just like something The Simpsons would predict. Although the first crewed mission hasn't happened yet, SpaceX is still working hard to make it a reality. They're building rockets and testing new technology that could take humans to Mars within the next few years. It's not exactly like what happened in the episode, but the similarities are pretty wild. Apple Vision Pro prediction. Here's another crazy prediction from The Simpsons that feels like it came true. Virtual reality headsets. In the 2016 episode, The Simpsons showed characters wearing these high-tech goggles that look just like the Apple Vision Pro, a product that was released years later. In the episode, everyone in Springfield gets addicted to the new gadget, wandering around with their headsets on, bumping into things and causing chaos. Fast forward to the 2024, and Apple's Vision Pro has become the latest must-have gadget. It's a virtual reality headset that lets you experience things in a whole new way. People can watch movies, play games, and even interact with virtual objects like never before. It's almost like stepping into a different world, just like what we saw in the Simpsons episode. When fans noticed the similarity, they couldn't believe it. They started sharing clips from the show online, saying that the Simpsons had predicted the future again. It's not just a small coincidence either. The episode's gadget looks almost identical to the Vision Pro, and the way people use it is exactly like how we use VR headsets today. Hologram technology. In one episode from the season 34, The Simpsons introduced something that seemed impossible at the time: full-sized holograms. Bart gets an invitation to a party from a mailman, but the invitation isn't just a piece of paper. It's a hologram that pops up in front of him. It looked super futuristic and made fans wonder if this kind of tech could ever be real. Fast forward to today, and we're actually getting closer to making this a reality. A company called the HoloConnect is working on a device called the HoloBox, which displays a life-sized hologram of the person you're talking to. What's even crazier is that the HoloBox doesn't need a bunch of fancy gadgets to work. All it needs is an internet connection and electricity. It's like a plug-and-play hologram machine, and it could be the next big thing in technology. Fans of The Simpsons are already pointing out how the show once again predicted something way before it was invented: baby translator device. Imagine being able to understand what a baby is saying when they cry or babble. That sounds like a dream for many parents, right? Well, The Simpsons thought of this idea way before anyone else did. In an old episode called "Brother, Can You Spare 2 Dimes?", Homer's half-brother Herb invents a baby translator that can decode what babies are trying to say. It was a funny concept, but today it looks like this prediction might actually come true. In real life, a company called Zoundream is working on creating a device that functions just like the one in the Simpsons episode. Zoundream uses advanced artificial intelligence, AI, to analyze the sounds a baby makes and figure out what the baby needs. For example, it might be able to tell if a baby is hungry, tired, or needs a diaper change just by listening to their cries. It's a groundbreaking idea that could help parents and doctors understand babies better. There are already some apps and gadgets that claim to understand baby talk, but they're not very accurate. Zoundream, on the other hand, is using high-tech sound analysis to make a real difference. They've created a system that listens to the pitch, frequency, and urgency of a baby's cries, similar to how the baby translator worked in The Simpsons. If Zoundream can make this technology reliable, it could be a game-changer for new parents. Virtual reality food experience. The Simpsons have made a lot of wild predictions, but this one takes the cake. Literally. In an episode from the season 11, the show featured a scene where Homer and Marge enjoy a virtual reality dining experience. They put on VR headsets, and instead of eating real food, they imagine what they're eating while drinking a flavored liquid through a straw. It sounds crazy, but today, it's not as far-fetched as it once seemed. Now, in real life, a company called Aerobanquets RMX is bringing a similar idea to life. They offer a unique dining experience using virtual reality. Customers put on a VR headset, and instead of seeing the real world, they're transported to a digital universe. Even though they're only eating small, bite-sized courses, the VR experience makes it feel like a grand feast. What's really cool about this is how the virtual reality tricks your brain into tasting flavors that aren't even there. The visuals and sounds make you feel like you're eating in a whole new world. It's a mix of food, art, and technology all in one. While the technology isn't perfect yet, experts think it could become a big trend in the future, especially as VR headsets get better and more affordable. The AI takeover. In an episode from season 23, The Simpsons showed a world where robots and artificial intelligence, AI, take over people's jobs. Mr. Burns fires all his human employees and replaces them with robots, saying that it's the future of business. At first, everything seems fine, but the robots eventually turn against the humans, causing chaos. It was a funny and exaggerated story back then, but today it feels like it could actually happen. Right now, AI and robots are becoming more advanced every day. We're seeing AI programs that can do tasks better and faster than humans. For example, there are robots that can build cars, write news articles, and even diagnose diseases. It's amazing, but it also makes a lot of people worried. If robots and AI can do almost everything, what will happen to all the jobs? The episode's prediction of people losing their jobs to robots is starting to look more real every day. Recently, a study found that some AI programs are even learning how to avoid the safety measures put in place to control them. This has raised concerns that we might not be able to fully control these machines if they become too advanced. The idea of an AI takeover might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but experts are starting to take it seriously. Climate change catastrophe. The Simpsons have made several predictions about natural disasters and climate change, and with everything going on into 2024, these predictions are starting to feel more real than ever. In multiple episodes, the show has featured extreme weather events like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires, hinting at a future where climate change has gotten out of control. Sadly, these episodes are looking a lot like our reality today. In recent years, we've seen more and more extreme weather events all around the world. In the United States alone, there have been the record-breaking heat waves, devastating wildfires, and massive hurricanes causing billions of dollars in damage. Scientists are warning that these disasters are becoming more frequent and more intense because of climate change, and it seems like The Simpsons predicted this a long time ago. One episode shows a Springfield flooded with water after a sudden storm, while another features a massive heat wave melting everything in sight. These exaggerated scenes might have seemed funny back then, but today they don't feel like jokes anymore. It's almost as if the writers were warning us about the dangers of ignoring climate change. Black hole disaster. In the Treehouse of Horror episode from 2012, The Simpsons showed what happens when a black hole appears in Springfield. At first, it's just a small hole, but as people start throwing their trash into it, the black hole gets bigger and more dangerous. By the end of the episode, it swallows up the entire town. It's a spooky story, but could it be more than just fiction? In real life, scientists are studying black holes more than ever before. In January 2024, India launched a new X-ray satellite to learn more about these mysterious cosmic objects. Black holes are extremely powerful, and if one got close enough to Earth, it could suck up everything in its path. Thankfully, scientists say that's very unlikely to happen. The episode's message was clear. Don't mess with things you don't understand. In the show, Homer and Bart ignore Lisa's warning and keep throwing junk into the black hole, making it bigger and scarier. But what do you think? Are these just lucky guesses, or does The Simpsons have a secret trick for predicting the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.